So last night I got into, without doubt, the craziest session of open world PvP I think I've gotten into to date in the game. I'm using my new blood rapier and blunderbuss setup that I just put together, which I'll leave a little section for at the end of the video. But there's two things that I'm kind of frustrated about. I have started streaming again, just in case you didn't know, which I'll leave a link for in the description. But the first thing was I didn't manage to, or I wasn't streaming when this happened. So I wasn't able to show some of the people that have been watching the stream again. And then the second thing is part of the fight where it gets the absolute craziest is where the clip kind of gets corrupted. Now, I do manage to salvage most of the fight. I do lose a very, very small portion of the fight, and it's going to be a weird little cut, which I'll leave some text on the screen for when that happens. But yeah, shout out to Cowboy and Maestro, our healer, because they were definitely the MVPs of our group here. Had an incredible tank and an incredible healer running with me during this PvP session. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much of the video talking. I really, really hope you guys enjoy the fight, and thank you guys so much for watching. Alrighty, so taking a look at the build. Now the Blood Rapier is a tricky build because being that I run it in light armor, I find that you need both 150 con and 150 dex for survivability in light armor because it's just such a squishy armor in this game. But with this setup, you kind of have to give up one of those because getting 250 int is pretty crucial to having the burst damage that you need to finish people out. Now, I was running 100 dex and 150 con for most of my time on this build, but I've just found that for a lot of situations you can't stay alive long enough because especially when fighting outnumbered, getting hit with multiple CCs while only having 2 dodges is pretty hard to get away from in light armor. But I did do some things to kind of mend the fact that we gave up that 10% critical damage reduction, which I'll go over in a second. But yeah, we are running 150 dex, 250 int to get that increase to the damage on our burst damage with that 30% duration to damage over time, and then 100 con. Taking a look at the weapons, we are running obviously most of this blood side here, everything on flourish and finish, everything for Tondo, and then heavy puncture, unerring, refreshing strikes, and red curtains here. For I find are really nice to just get your Tondo up as quickly as possible. Swiftness is a really nice ability on any Rapier build, and then evade. Taking a look at the blunderbuss, now I run it with kind of 2 different setups. I like running shrapnel blast, which you saw in the video, but I also run blast shot. Now this is what the setup looks like when I'm running it with shrapnel blast. So we get almost everything on the containment side here in terms of points, except for we only get 1 passive here because the passives on the chaos side are really important to our survival. So on a roll, bite back, buckshot, artillery, and last chance. On a roll and last chance are going to be when I run on pretty much any blunderbuss setup, but if you prefer and like running blast shot, then the way that I run it with blast shot on my bar is we end up getting a couple more passives here. So we end up getting deep load, future endeavors to end up getting unload because this point is really important. And then we give up artillery. And then this is what it looks like when I'm running blast shot. So it's very similar passives here on a roll, bite back, buckshot, and last chance. But we give up artillery to get that blast shot, and then I get future planning. So that's what it looks like when I'm running other abilities. Taking a look at the gear, pretty simple here. We're running 2-piece freedom, 1 on our helmet with resilient, 1 on our chest piece with resilient as well. Omnidirectional evade on the gloves because we're still running evade, and this is very powerful for evade. Shuriken energy on our legs, venturing claw shot on the boots because this is really nice to just add a little bit of extra DPS. Looking at the jewelry, as I mentioned, we had to do something about that 100 con. And thrust damage is, I find, really the only damage you need to be worried about getting one shot by, because it's those weapons that really do the most damage and the quickest. So we do have thrust protection and a thrust gem in our amulet here, which I found to be really helpful to negate not having 150 con. Bloodletting and hardy on our ring, and regenerating and refreshing toast on our earring. What our damage resistances look like with that amulet there is almost 25% thrust damage resistance. So it pretty much feels like you're running 150 con against like bows, spears, rapiers, and muskets and stuff like that. So I found this is a really nice way to run the setup. Taking a look at my weapons, we've got Keen, Tricking Arcane, and Deadly Flourish on the Rapier, and then Keen, Vicious, and Exhaustive Next Shot on our Blunderbuss. Having this perk on our Blunderbuss is just insane because of that stamina regeneration reduction that it does. Now, talking about Deadly Flourish really quickly, this does not apply to the second hit of Flourish and Finish, but I still find this to be a really, really nice perk because the amount of damage that you do leading up to the finish portion of Flourish and Finish, which is your burst, the amount of damage you do in that time is sometimes the difference between leaving somebody with a sliver of health or finishing them off. So I just find any extra DPS that I can get, I prefer to have. And yeah, that's my kind of 2 cents about that perk. But that is the build. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.